Hi everyone, thank you so much for your patience. Can I just confirm that you can all hear me on stream? Okay, let's see. We're just waiting for a few more people to join. Okay, excellent. You can hear me. Perfect. And you can see the presentation. Great. Okay, excellent. So I am going to introduce our guest today. And before we get to it, I'll give you a quick introduction of myself. Today's webinar is on how to close 30 plus real estate transactions a week with Agentic AI. So I'm sure you're all excited to hear more about that topic and what our expert guest has to share as well. So hi Karan, you're on stream.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone. So it would be good to get an idea with everyone where you're joining from today. So if you could just give us a heads up in the chat, let us know where you're joining from. I am in London, UK. Karan, where are you joining from?
I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham, Alabama. Lovely, lovely. See if we can get anyone else. So the more interaction we get today, the more energy we can have throughout this webinar. And I'm sure the most we'll get out of it for everyone as well. Colorado, Shauna, thank you. Dara, Florida, great to have you. Great to have you. Okay, great. Arkansas, hope I've said that correctly. Augusta, excellent. Okay, so I can see we've got even more people joining now, which is great. Um, we will get started. So just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Danielle Turner. I am the founder of Property AI Tools. It is the most comprehensive curated directory of real estate tools on the market. So if you're curious about learning and discovering different AI tools that will help you be at the top of your game, make sure to check out propertyaitools.com. I'm also an AI consultant at Cake, which specializes in strategy and risk management consulting for artificial intelligence. Um, and over to Karan. If you could quickly introduce yourselves to the audience, that would be great.
Hey everyone, my name is Karan. I am one of the founders and product lead of ListedKit. ListedKit is a transaction management platform, and I have been working with my lovely team for the last year on building Ava, our AI assistant. A big part of my job is talking to people in your industry, learning the pains that and the woes of real estate, and trying to find interesting solutions to solve these problems that AI enables us to build now.
Yeah.
And so that's a big part of my job. I'm very passionate about the real estate industry and the problems we're seeing in transaction management.
Mm.
So I'm channeling all of that into building Ava, as you can see on the screen, to solve those problems and hopefully make the buying process and the selling process a lot easier for everybody.
Okay, excellent. Lovely, great introduction. Thank you, Karan. So what we're going to do now is just dive straight into a set of Q&As, questions back and forth, so we can get a better idea of what's going on in the transaction management scope. I also have some poll questions for the audience as well. So if you can get involved in that, then even better. We can make this a bit more interactive. Um, so, Karan, could you actually just share with us what inspired you to create Listed Kit? What was your inspiration behind the product?
So it was funny. I think about a year ago, we had an older version of ListedKit that kind of I inherited as a
Mm,
product. It had minimal to no AI in it,
yeah,
and I was tasked with setting up a user who was using a competitor to try and come onto ListedKit.
yeah.
It took me 5 weeks to onboard them onto that old platform, and by the time I had onboarded them, they decided I don't want to use ListedKit anymore because it took too long to even onboard you. So I spent 5 weeks trying to just
Wow.
set someone up, let alone educate them on how to use the product, show them how it works, and then I've seen how our our old users and users using our competitors are trying to manage their transactions with non AI powered platforms, And it made me like, I had a realization of, oh my God, there's so much of templatization and so many fixed workflows that you have to preempt as an agent, as a TC. Otherwise, you're in trouble when a deadline gets missed or a document gets lost or a signature is missed. And I don't think that should be the case. I think
Yeah.
every real estate agent, every transaction manager needs a smart dynamic system that doesn't just react fast, but is proactive about the mistakes that could happen in your deal. And that kind of like molded into Ava
Yeah.
and the kind of system we have now, where setting up doesn't take long, closing your deals is seamless. And we wanted a system that actually does the work for you. We didn't want just a glorified checklist that you do all of this setup work, all of this input, and then you just get a task list, but you still have to go out and do the emails, the calendar, the document checking, the actual coordination. We wanted a system that actually takes that work off your plate so that your agents can be out there selling. You, as a TC, can do more deals and see your timelines at scale. And a team can collaborate together to actually increase their volume as a business and not
Yeah.
get stuck in back office work. I think that to me seems like a tragedy that a business couldn't scale because their systems were not being able to actually help them do more. It was slowing them down.
Definitely. So productivity, speed, and actually solving a real problem that you encountered yourself
Mhm.
was part of your inspiration behind developing this great product. And in one sentence, can you define ListedKit's mission? Like, what is your main purpose? What do you want to help people to achieve?
We never want to have a deal fall through again.
Okay.
And we want to democratize the home buying process for everybody. I believe if our tool can do what it does, it'll make the effort of
Yeah.
managing a deal so minimal that buying and selling a home becomes something that is easy and affordable for everyone to do in the United States.
Yeah. That's a really great mission.
Long term, one
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, one day. I'm sure you'll get there. I'm sure you'll get there with AI behind you and
Mhm.
with a creative team. I can already see that you've done so much with your product. And even the latest updates that you've released lately have been absolutely astounding. I'm sure as we get through this webinar today, our audience will be able to see exactly what Ava is and what it does, what she does, because you mentioned that as well. Um, what is the what would you say? So from an agentic AI perspective, what are some of the biggest roadblocks you see transaction coordinators and teams experiencing?
In terms of agentic AI, what are some of the biggest roadblocks? I'm interpreting your question in two ways. I'm going to interpret it
Okay.
one as, with the advent of agentic AI, how are transaction coordinators and agents who are not going to adopt that, what are they going to run into? And then second, I'll even touch on
Yeah.
those who are using AI, kind of what pitfalls they need to avoid as well. So on the axis of, I'm a TC, I'm an agent, I'm a team, but I don't
Mhm.
want to use AI for whatever reason. I think the biggest reasons we're hearing in that department is, AI is scary, or it's not trustworthy, or it's a myth, it's not actually helpful. And I can see the validity in quite a bit of those claims. Like, AI is not a silver bullet. You still have a lot of work to do. In fact, I
Yeah.
use AI every single day, and I've become more busy than ever because as humans, we just find more work to do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that AI can't significantly increase the quality of your output and the amount you're outputting. And I think teams that are going to try and avoid AI for whatever reason it is are going to get replaced by teams using AI.
Yeah.
Claude is not going to come out of your computer and take your job and take your business away. But brokerage using Ava or any other AI tools out there very efficiently is going to have a team where every single person is outputting at the volume that 10 people who were not using AI were. And that's going to be the difference between a team that
Yeah.
accepts AI and grows with it versus a team that's afraid of it without even trying it. I think that's another piece of this, is a lot of people hear the preconceptions that are out there, and I agree. I've been there.
Yeah.
But I say give AI, whatever system it is, an honest shot and see if it actually does benefit you or not. And 99% of the time you'll see it actually is boosting your efficiency. It's making you a better writer, a better communicator, more organized. And then make a decision.
Yeah.
Don't knock it till you try it. And then for the teams that are using AI, what pitfalls they need to avoid, I think it's pretty, the biggest one that we're seeing right now is what we call AI theater
Right.
in the software world. Yeah, I use ChatGPT to write a listing. I use ChatGPT to write an email, and then I copy paste it into my Gmail. I don't know. I listen to podcasts about AI, so I'm using AI. I think that's great. That's phenomenal. That's a like I love that mentality. That's how I started.
Yeah.
But that's going to get redundant pretty soon, because as you see, if you do use ListedKit, we're beyond using AI for one-shot tools. We're building our systems in such a way that both a human and an AI can read and understand it and operate the tools in our system. So as a business, a lot of the time knowledge used to live in our heads, and if you had a question, you'd go to the broker or you'd go to an agent and ask them. But as a business, we're evolving as a startup ourselves, and
Yeah.
we're seeing our users evolve to documenting everything they do very clearly, so that if an agent needs to know something or Ava needs to know something, that information is easily visible and accessible, and the tools are connected in such a way that if John, the agent, needs to send an email, he can. But if
Yeah.
Ava needs to send an email, he can. We're systematizing the way we're using AI across the business to get the AI to do the work,
Okay.
not using AI as just a one-shot kind of like, okay, did this email, done. The next time I go write an email, now I have to explain the whole context again. Those days are gone. We've built so
Yeah.
many systems now where Ava should just know every single time what we're trying to do here. So I would say, yeah, if you're a team who started using AI, not trying to scare you here, I think you've taken a big leap by starting, but systematize it. Make
Yeah.
it so your AI is working for you and you're not working to teach the AI every single time you're trying to do something.
I think one thing I'm taking from what you've just said is that it's not just using, one-shot workflows. You're using ChatGPT to, to do one part of a job. You're building a system overall, and having that tool that enables you to build that system without just one-shot tools is really, really important.
Mhm.
And do you feel that those teams that actually adopt a systemized approach, so one tool that does many things and can actually act as an ecosystem for their operations from an AI perspective, do you think those teams will be able to scale at a much greater rate than those who don't adopt it?
Yes, that's a good question. So I think I again interpret scale in two ways. So I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about both. In terms of volume, early, I can only talk to ListedKit, so I will. We've seen teams who set up their task templates, set up their email templates, set up the documentation that Ava needs to help you. Once they've got those kind of pieces set up in ListedKit, we're seeing how our users used to report. Karan, when I would get a contract that had all this information, the time it would take for me to pull it out, put it into my computer, wherever it was, an Excel sheet or my old system, and then finally fill out that all parties email saying, hey, everybody, welcome to the deal. Here are the key deadlines. The time to go from contract received to that email out used to be 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And we're seeing that time cut down to minutes. I think on average now we're seeing 5 to 7 minutes it takes for that contract to go into ListedKit, to Ava drafting and sending out that email, because Ava's using your template. Ava knows your voice. Ava knows how to read contracts. She knows which fields you like and which you don't. All you're doing is review, 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 change one or two things, review, good, send. It's super quick.
Yeah.
And I think that is just one workflow. But if
Okay.
we compound all our different workflows just like this, and we see how much time we're saving, there's so much more room left in the week to add in a deal, another deal, like
Yeah.
maybe potentially doubling your volume. I think there's more than one, but I remember distinctly a couple months ago, one of our users who started from day one, who've
Yeah.
over a year really, really gone into using Ava as their full-time system, finally reported that they doubled their volume, and not from 2 to 4, but from
Wow.
20 to 40. They actually were able to double their volume as a TC. I get that the job is different, but it was still really cool to see that
Yeah.
just within a year, we're seeing people do what typically is just like a marketing tagline: double your volume. Nobody ever believed that before, but we got to see in front of our eyes someone double their volume.
So when
From
we said,
yeah,
so when we set the title for this webinar at 30 plus
yeah,
transactions per week, we were really underestimating what the potential capabilities
right,
actually are. Yeah.
yeah. I think so. Scaling your business, I think, is completely possible. The part that I'm not as sure about, and because I want to be fully honest when I when I share these insights, I don't
Yeah.
claim to know it all. I'm reporting what I've learned as we're doing it. I think the hard part we are seeing is internally at ListedKit ourselves,
Okay.
and as we're building features for our users who are the bigger teams. How can we scale the knowledge base that your AI, in this case Ava, is using, and you as a user are using, to be consistent across the board? And what I mean a bit more in specifics is, if you're a team with 14 offices in 14 states, how do we know what the source of truth is? What document says this is how things are done? And then how do we make sure they're standardized across the board? How do we make sure the broker sitting at the top has visibility into the teams across? I think that kind of information architecture has is a big challenge. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that scales yet. I think that's a challenge we're going after next. We spent
Okay.
the last year making Ava a really good transaction manager. Now we're going to see, can she be a brokerage manager? Can she do the financial reporting, the analytics, the goal setting for teams across the states,
Yeah.
but still serve a solo agent and a TC as well, if not better? So that's kind of
Okay.
the scale piece that I'm not sure about
Yeah.
just yet.
No, you definitely answered that question. Thanks. So I think now would be a really good point to set the poll. I've got a question for our audience, which is how many transactions do you manage per month? So we'll be able to see your answers to this, so don't worry. Everyone won't be able to see your answers. But if we can get a few responses in, that would be excellent, and we can actually gauge um, what kind of volume everyone is doing. Now, at the moment, we'll give it a few more seconds. Okay. Okay, a few more seconds, and I'll take that off stream. Okay, so we currently have 50% of you um, doing up to 10 transactions per month, 30% doing 30 to 60 transactions per month, and 17% doing up to 30 per month. So that gives us a really good idea of what we're working with.
Yeah, a
Thanks.
lot of high volume folks in here. That's
Yeah, that's excellent. That's really
yeah.
excellent. Um, okay, so let's see if we can change the view a bit here. What I'm going to do, Karan, would you be happy to share your screen and give
Mhm.
us a quick demonstration? I do have some more questions for you, but I feel
Yeah,
like the audience would really benefit from being able to see exactly what it is you're talking about and the
sure.
capabilities that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So if you can just give us a moment, Karan is just going to share his screen and we can give you a bit more of an idea of what Listed Kit is all about.
Let me know when you can see my screen, and I can give you the rundown.
Okay, can everyone see the screen? Let's see. Not had any no's. I'll check my private chat. Okay, I think we're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to ListedKit. We are currently inside a transaction. Before I start walking you through where what you're looking at, I just want to give you a quick context that the way we got here was I clicked on this new transaction button. I just uploaded my documents, whether it's my purchase agreement, addendums, riders, that packet you typically get at the beginning of a deal. I threw it in there. Ava read all of these details you see on the right here, pulled them out for me automatically, and stored them neatly in relevant sections where the parties are tagged with who they are and their contact info. And it's ready to go, essentially. And it took me a couple of minutes. She also built this timeline for me in the chronological order with the key dates, all reviewed for me cleanly. And we've even built a task list using my template in my business's system for me just right here on the right side. All of this took about 7 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes, if depending on how big your documents are. And I did not type anything. I just reviewed, maybe made a few edits, and then went go. And it's all set up. Now that I'm inside the deal, you can see we have all of those systems set up on the right, and I can click around. I can mark my tasks as complete. There's due dates. There's assignees. There's typical task management. I'm sure all of you are familiar with it. But in the center, we have a chat with Ava, who knows everything about your deal and actually has tools that can do things for you. I'm going to just break down very quickly all the things she can do in high level, just so you get a good idea of kind of how it works.
Question, Karan.
Go ahead.
Before you get onto that, typically, how long would it take a human to get to this stage so far? How long would it take somebody to actually review all of the documents and things that you just uploaded?
That's a good question. I've heard someone manually reviewing this and putting it into a spreadsheet can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes 3 hours if the deal is very complicated, to just make sure all of these details are correctly written out here.
Okay.
So
you've done that in seven minutes.
We cut down the time very significantly. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, now that we have the deal set up, I can do a lot with Ava. Level 1, I can ask her questions about my deal, and if something is buried in a document on page 7, I don't have to go hunt for it. Ava can, being an AI, read documents in parallel, find that information for me, and answer it in the chat right here. I can also, since she has tools, I can ask her to change deadlines, mark things as complete, update my transaction management, instead of me having to manually click through and change due dates in case I need to. She has full control over your ListedKit transaction the same way you do. So you can do things manually if you want to, or you can ask her and then she'll make those updates for you. Next, I can connect my calendar and have her put key dates on my calendar. In this example, I asked her to add the timeline to my calendar. In seconds, she went through and created 10 calendar events and filled them all out with information that would take me at least 30 minutes to go and fill out one by one in each calendar event. It's cleanly done. It's got a color reminder, the address, all set up for me. All I have to do is hit approve, and these all go into my calendar right away. So huge time save, makes you look professional. You can share these deadlines, the closing date with your buyer. You can share this as a TC with your agents. It really doesn't matter who's using this. I think this is really helpful to keep you accountable by putting things on your calendar. It makes you look professional by putting these deadlines onto people's calendars. You can also connect your email and have Ava draft emails for you. Doesn't matter if you have email templates or not. You could upload your templates and then she'll follow your templates. If you don't, you're just trying to write emails on the go, she can do that too. Here I asked her to write an email to the buyer about the earnest money. She drafted this email for me that's ready to send directly from ListedKit as if I wrote it myself. It's coming from my non-ListedKit email, as you can see, and it has my signature. I can hit send. I can even schedule it to go out later if I want to. And we also let you attach a transaction summary that I think is really cool. What's funny is this transaction summary used to take so long too because people would have to take the contract and then fill out a summary to share. Now we automatically generate that for you. And we know you don't want to download and re-upload it every time, so we let you check a box and it goes as an attachment from your inbox. But I'd love to show you guys what that looks like. So I'm going to go to details on the top right and click on generate summary. Here
Oh, it looks like we've lost Karan off the stream. Just a moment. I'm just going to get him back. Just a moment, please. Yeah, oh no. Here he is. He's back. Not to worry.
Connected there.
Technical issues. It happens. It happens. Let's get you back on stream.
Yes. Okay. I'm back. So yes, what I was doing was showing you guys the summary. Hold on, let me do this. I know, I'm sorry, Dar. I'm working on it. So if I'm going to click the button again. Hopefully my computer does not misbehave. Okay. Yes. And let me share this tab instead. This is
Yes.
what our summary looks like. But don't worry, I picked the green, I picked the font. You can customize this fully. You can put your logo there. You can pick your background color. You can pick your font. You can even pick which sections show. So if you just want the timeline, you can share that too. So you can customize all of that in settings if you want to. So yeah, when you check that box off, all of that gets sent and it's super clean to share with your clients. Now I want to show you some of the new features we released just as recently as 2 weeks ago, where in the transaction management flow, every tool out there so far has optimized for outbound, right? We'll pull all your info, we'll help you write emails and help you send it out, but nobody helps with the inbound. Agents receive so many emails, TCs receive even more emails. Everybody receives emails with documentation and updates that then they have to manually basically sit on top of their inbox every single morning to make sure they're not missing any updates. And I think in 2026, that should not be an issue anymore. We've given Ava access to your inbox and the context of your business. So when I asked her in this deal, check my inbox for updates, she just goes through, finds any emails I haven't read yet, identifies what's happening, and you can see the steps one by one here. Identifies what's going on and pulls the information in. So just for this demo, I sent myself 2 emails. One was just me acting like the other side, asking, what's the closing date for this deal? And 2, I sent the earnest money receipt and some buyer docs to mock kind of like what would happen if those documents came in. So first, Ava prepared a reply to that email using our contract information because we know the closing date. And I can reply directly from here and I can even click on that email to see what it looks like on the right. So I know exactly which email I'm replying to. I know in real estate, we love our threads where we get 100 emails in one thread. Sometimes you lose track of what's going on. Ava provides a summary at the top of where we last left off. When I hit send, it's going to go into go out from my outbox directly into that thread as if I was replying. So we're optimizing for even replying in context with the information so that you don't have to go hunt for information anymore. It's all a connected loop now, and Ava's got your back no matter what you're trying to do. Second, those documents that came in, I didn't even have to really tell her because she knows Ava pulled the documents into our compliance section and stored it in our files. And I can ask her, as I did here, check if the EMD is compliant. And she did what we have as a compliance scan, where she scanned the entire document for missing signatures and missing information. She even cross-referenced with the other documents we have and found that the escrow officer's signature is missing. If I click on the issue, you can see it's blank, it's missing. I can now decide how I want to act on it and coordinate with my team to make sure it gets signed. Which, if we zoom out and go to the checklist here, you can see she marks his needs as has issues. And this is what I want to cover really quickly, our compliance checklist. You can templatize this and basically tell us for the different kinds of deals you're running in ListedKit, what documents you track. And then you're just one by one making sure all of them are caught as they go through. And now that Ava can read your inbox, you don't even have to sit and toggle this. Just, Ava, check my inbox. She pulls, reads, toggles it for you. And you can kind of see where we're going with these automations is hopefully one day that's just kind of happening autonomously and you're just being alerted if something has issues. So that's kind of where we're going with that. The last thing I want to show you, because I think I saw somebody asked, can I use this as a real estate agent? Yes, and I'll show you why you want to use this. Apart from all these awesome features we already have, if you go into your settings and you go to Ava SMS, here you can connect your phone to ListedKit and text Ava on the go across all your deals. You're essentially getting a global chat early that we haven't released inside the app yet, where you can ask Ava questions about your closings, about your deals. You can ask her to move tasks around, let her know updates, and she'll update your deals through text on the go. And I haven't fully figured out how this works yet because one of our users just let us know. They gave Ava's phone number into their CRM, and all their agents are texting Ava through their CRM now to keep record of all the questions and information and answers, which is really cool. I think we're going to do a blog about that soon. So that's something to look at. I think that's really helpful. We have a lot of solo agents who will, in the morning, put all their deals into ListedKit, get it set up with Ava, and then they just hit the road and they're texting her about, okay, this happened, that happened, what do I need to do? Just really cool stuff. So those are some of the features I wanted to show. I'm
Thank
going
you.
to stop here and answer any questions, or I can even stop sharing my screen, whichever you prefer, Daniel.
If you can leave the screen up for now, we have had a question come through from Dara, and she asks, can Ava read other email accounts or just our own?
Good question. So Ava can read as many inboxes as you connect. Actually, we released an update last week where you can connect multiple inboxes. She by default will read your integration that's marked default in your integrations list. But then you can also just tell her, don't read my personal inbox, read my assistant's inbox, and she can do so in any deal.
Okay. And I'm sure our audience has a few questions relating to data security. How important is that to ListedKit, and how do you manage and make sure that your client's data is secure on the platform? Because you're managing transactions that are for sometimes hundreds and thousands or even millions of pounds.
Yep. I
Dollars.
just want to say I appreciate Dara's energy in the chat. Thank you, Dara. The question, right? So I think we have some pretty simple but highly effective methods of making sure our client data does not get breached. Number one, we ourselves don't train an AI model on any data. We use a mixture of the most secure and commonly known AI providers. The only, I guess, secret sauce we do is in the way we build our prompts to set up Ava to work for you.
Yeah.
But all of that information is conveyed over customer feedback calls where we learn with our users how Ava needs to react. But client data, like people's phone numbers and email addresses, are not being fed into a model to build a super Ava local model that we own.
Yeah.
Number two, everybody's database is stored separately, which means it's literally impossible for one user's account information to bleed over into somebody else's account information. And so we handle that security very strictly. And then lastly, we've eliminated passwords entirely. If anyone is a ListedKit user, you know here, you don't have a password. You just enter your email address and a secure code comes to your email, and that's how you sign in. God forbid there's a data breach tomorrow, there are no passwords to breach. So that's how we keep our users' accounts secure.
Okay, excellent. And also, ListedKit is a verified vendor, and has gone through the Property AI Tools verification process. So we've also ensured that they are reliable, trustworthy, and their approach to AI integration has been ethical as well. So we're really impressed by what you're doing on that front. April says, on average, what is the cost to run a transaction on Ava?
That's a good question, April. So we have a per transaction system. You buy credits, as you can see on the top right there, and then you use your credits as you do deals. We charge 1 credit per deal. The only time we will take another credit is if you're starting with listing and then you're going under contract. So everything I showed you, you can also do with just a listing, where you put a listing agreement in, set up your tasks, do all your work. And then when the deal gets signed, you can go under and a second credit gets charged.
Okay.
But if you're just doing your closings, it's 1 credit a deal, pretty simple. And it starts at $14.99. At $14.99 with that credit, we charge it when the deal starts. And within the deal, you get unlimited access to Ava. You can send as many emails, chat as much as you want to, calendar, comply, everything I showed you. Even Ava SMS comes with that credit.
Yeah.
And as you buy credits in bulk, they get discounted. But don't worry, there's still no monthly fee. You can buy 50 credits and use it for the next year. Nobody's going to come knocking on your door to pay more money. That's actually what a lot of our big teams do, is they buy a bulk for like a couple of months and then they just run with their credits. They're not restricted to a monthly fee. And we don't have any restrictions on seats. I know there's some of you doing 30 to 60 deals in here and you have a team. We don't have any restriction on how many people you can put onto your account. And in fact, we're seeing a lot of people just put their agents on to start texting Ava and not come into the app anymore. And that's fine.
Yeah.
We are happy with you using Ava. The only thing we charge on is the credits. So that's
Okay.
kind of how it works.
Excellent. And I'm sure we've got. I'm just going to put this up now. But they do have a promotion on where you get your first transaction for
Yes.
free if you sign up. So I'll leave that on there for now. Um, let's see if we've got any other questions.
We have a code to share. Danielle, do we do
Yes. Yeah,
that now?
please do. Yeah, we can share the code, of course.
Yeah, I'm going to share, unless I don't know if Faye is here to help with this. So I'm just going to type it out if I can. I think this is it. This is our code. You will get 10% off if you buy today. The
A few more questions that have come through.
bundles. Yes, and I will answer all your questions. Thank you for the questions. There we go. Cool. Can you see that Danielle message that I sent?
Yep, I can see that. So Karan has shared the promotional link in the chat. So if you want to use that today, then you'll be able to take advantage of that 10% off for all of your bundles. And the great thing is that your team doesn't have to worry about subscription creep. You're not signing up for loads of different tools. ListedKit, how long does it actually take for a new user to get up and running, to
Get
set
up
up?
and running. I think if you're like a solo to any capacity small team, we're seeing users get started in a day. If you're a bit of a bigger team with more processes, we're seeing 3 to 4 days max, really.
Yeah.
And we have a YouTube playlist to share with everyone, which I will. I think somebody asked, Keith asked, what is the best way to learn the platform videos? Or I'm going to share a YouTube playlist in here very soon that will walk you through all the features we have. You can pause and sign up for free with your free deal, and then watch the videos in parallel and try out everything I'm showing you with your own contract. So I will share that very soon. After maybe I stop sharing, I'll go find the link and I'll share that. But yeah, that's the easiest way.
Okay, excellent. And Brooke says, what new features are you currently working on?
That's a good question, Brooke. We are. Where do I start? Okay, let me do the two biggest ones we're working on within the next couple of days, because our feature list is very aggressive, but we keep it really short. The reason we keep it really short is when we release things, our users use it and then give us feedback, and then everything changes. So we've learned to don't plan more than a couple weeks out, because we end up changing our plans anyway. Just really focus on the next few days. So two big things. One is email monitoring. I'll start there. Ava will proactively be watching your inbox. As emails come in, she's going to do two things. She's going to read the subject lines for addresses, and then one, match those emails to existing deals. So you're not constantly saying, read my inbox, read my inbox, read my inbox. They're just showing up as, hey, you got an email for 123 Main Street. Would you like me to act on it? Two, when she sees a subject line she doesn't recognize, she'll check if there's a new contract attached and actually pull in your new contract documents on the left here under under transactions, and basically help you start new transactions directly from your inbox. So you don't have to download, upload. We're trying to eliminate that entirely. So I think that's a cool improvement to automate on top of our current, reading your inbox features. And then the second wave of work we're doing is form filling and e-sign. We want Ava to be able to fill out an amendment for you on the go in case something happens, and actually send it out for signature through ListedKit. And just to clarify, I mean, we are building our own native e-sign functionality. You should not have to pay just for an e-sign tool. We'll give it to you along with the ListedKit experience. So hopefully with that, then Ava can run pretty autonomously for you, where she knows how to send documents for signature, fill out forms, update amendments, read your inbox. I mean, she's almost there to start doing a certain segment of your workflow in the background for you.
That's excellent. And one thing that I also heard you mention is that you can actually verify what Ava has produced before you actually, I
Yeah,
guess, send an email or submit
right.
it.
Hmm.
And that's a really great way to, keep humans in the loop and to ensure that the output, that you're satisfied with the output and then it remains consistent. But yeah, the more agentic workflows that you can implement, the better. I have a question, which is, how do you decide which agentic workflows to implement next? Is it merely based on user feedback, or do you have I guess, a secret view of what's going on behind the scenes and how users are working?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. The kind of direction of problem solving we take is led by our users. Um, Obviously, now at the scale we're at, there's a benefit to numbers. So we have not just one thing, we have a couple of ideas that are, in the burner, and then we see what's the most logical best next step. With the e-sign, it was pretty clear. Ava can do all this comms work for you, all this compliance work for you, but the one piece that's missing is she can't actually facilitate signatures. So, pretty clear logical next step. We've also heard people hate paying for e-sign and
Yeah,
hate having to switch between e-sign tools. Yeah, let's get rid of that entirely. Let's just do it all with ListedKit. And then also, I mean, I think we have a great board of advisors here who have like been in the startup game for a long time, so they help us with making sure we're not just fully zooming into building exactly what our users want one to one, and zooming out and thinking of it as what do all our users want instead of
yeah.
just building for one who may have a specific edge case. So that's kind of how we pave our path forward.
Okay. Um, and we have one final question from Dara. Can Ava review HOA docs?
So Dara, I'm assuming you mean just in general, can she like pull a like an HOA doc in and review it? Absolutely. You can inside any deal in ListedKit, whether you upload it or ask Ava to pull it from your inbox, have her go through the document and give you a summary just here in the chat. And then based on that, you can make decisions. You can have her in the notes, write down notes for what you want to do. You can update HOA contact information in your parties. You can share that information with a client in an email. And this applies to any kind of documentation, unless I'm missing something specific about HOA docs, and you can please correct me. Um, Another example we have is some of our agents do their listing work in ListedKit, and they have Ava pull in all the offers they received on the house for the last couple of days, and have Ava do a cross reference analysis and provide a financial summary of like, here's what I think the best offer is, or which ones aren't. And then Ava will prepare, like an acceptance email, and even prepare an email summarizing the different offers to the buyer, to the seller, so that they can get the best opinion all within ListedKit. So any documents, you just click the plus icon on the chat here. You can upload from your computer, or if you've already uploaded, you use existing docs, and then you can additionally have Ava correct, Dara. You just tell her what to search for. Yes.
Okay, excellent. And if somebody is skeptical about AI taking over, um, what would you say to them, Karan?
I think we've all watched Terminator, and I understand. I completely do. I think I touched on this in the beginning. I think well before an AI becoming sentient and taking over our lives, you're going to see humans using AI to significantly outpace you. I think the the interesting thing is everyone has access to it. So the playing field hasn't really changed as much as as it was before. I think about 10 years ago, the
Yeah,
person with the website would win. And everyone had access to building websites. Yeah, it did cost a bit in the beginning, but it was just those who went first and built their websites first who dominated the industry. And I think we're seeing the same thing here. Is like AI is not a rare resource. Everybody can get access to it. It's just the first movers who typically end out ahead because they were open to trying something new. If AI was a rare diamond that only a few people could use, I think I would have a different opinion.
yeah,
But
yeah.
to me, this just is another axis to be competitive on, like we have been historically with all new technology.
Okay,
So have an open mind, use it, see if you can use it for your business, and get ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Karan, for answering all of those questions.
Of course.
I'd say we're reaching the last final 5 minutes now. So what I'm going to do is just leave this um, sign up button up so that our audience can click through to that and actually explore Listed Kit for themselves. Um, if our audience wants to contact you, what would be the best way to do so? Sign up for a trial, or do you prefer email, social media?
So either sign up or on our website, there's a big book a demo button. You can book a demo and get a one-on-one call with me. I attend every demo. And lastly, if you want to just email us, you can email us at hello@listedkit.com. We are personally monitoring that email. That's the one place we don't use AI, is talking to you. Either I will be on the phone with you or emailing you personally. So you can just email us and we'll get back to you.
Okay, excellent. I want to thank you so much, Karan, for joining
Thank
us today. You've done an excellent demonstration of Listed Kit's capabilities, and I'm sure our audience will agree that it's an excellent tool to have in their toolbox. Um, we are coming to the end now, so if there are any final questions, you can pop them in the box in the chat box there. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be available to answer a few questions once we're off stream, but yeah, we'll stick around in the background. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you'll join us for another webinar in the future. We've got lots more coming up. All
thank
right,
you.
take care, everyone. Thank you.